Must have done it all already, good already done is no fun at all. Man, the pigeons move like coasters when I'm walking off a Saturday night. And the poster pigeons tell me that I'm lucky just for feeling alright.
I don't really dream. I work too hard during the day, and I'm usually here until like 3 a.m. every night, and I wake up early. But I'll dream about garage sales, honestly, and the thrift store. I probably have anxiety about what I'm currently missing at the thrift store right now. But all hardcore thrifters, when you go every day, then you're like, damn, what am I missing? What is someone else buying? But there's enough to go around. My name's Ben Talbot. I was born and raised in North Bay, Ontario. I got into the vintage scene about 7 years ago. I grew up with old stuff. I grew up with old music. We always thrifted and used old stuff, like they were made to last, so why not? Then started going to garage sales and collected myself a various variety of items, and then ended up having too many. So then my mom and dad were friends with a lady who owned an antique store that had a market, and they got a booth for me to start getting rid of all my junk, they said at the time, and it hooked me on selling vintage then. People came and reminisced that, oh, that's just like the specific item in my mom's house, or I grew up with that in my grandma's house. And I loved seeing that connection come to people. I got hooked on connecting people with items that they had a memory with. Finding that thing where it's like, people threw these out, like, I can't believe you still have that, is what keeps me driving. So that's why throughout the whole store, like, there's really a little bit of everything. Bringing something different to not be generic, which is quite cool, because 7 years ago today, I didn't even know where the thrift store was. I think vintage is super duper important, as each item is its own time capsule and its own pin in the timeline. Like how things were made, it was made locally in Canada or the States. Like people search for that because it was quality made. The stuff is lasting forever. In comparison with like fast fashion, you get a few wears out of something you're paying super duper cheap for, but people are now acknowledging an investment is definitely worth it, as your pair of jeans will last you a lifetime. Also, vintage gives people an opportunity to express themselves. I source about 85% of my stuff from the original owner, so the people who bought it new, or their families, as sometimes the original owners have passed away, or they just have stuff that they realize someone actually wants. It was junk in their attic that they stored, but they never thought anybody would be interested in it. They'll come into the store and they can't believe that it's in the store for sale. Currently, I'm packing for the St. Lawrence Market, the Sunday Variety. How I pack is usually thinking on what people have bought the previous weeks, and sometimes like you'll barely break even on a market, so it's always a hit or miss, so you kind of got to read the room. Like my first big successful market I did, the day was coming to an end. I didn't realize it, but someone was watching me pack up my booth and then further pack up my truck. They ended up following me to the parking garage that I parked in. They waited until like 5 hours after, until they knew I wasn't coming back, and they stole about $2,000 worth of stuff out of my truck and broke my back tailgate to get to it, which was a little concerning. So that I always have that in the back of my mind now, which is unfortunate, but reality. A fun fact on how I used to do markets is I used to never wrap anything. Thankfully, I never ever broke anything, so that's why I just never did. I'm like, oh, it saves me so much time. And then when I met my girlfriend and she started helping with my markets, She convinced me to start wrapping stuff. I don't think I have any fears because I'm not selling stuff off of a current trend. Like, yes, it's trendy to shop vintage, but it's also gonna forever be a thing to shop sustainable. And I can change the business model to match whatever the demand is right now.
A man was yelling at a window on the face of a store for adults, saying I'm not poor, I'm cheap, not poor. Yeah, I realized you had nothing for me, and I can only give you. It's out without desire, so it's free.
I believe it's one of a kind for sure. There's no other vintage store in a basement, and that's why I keep on doing it to this day, because everybody has some different relation with a different item because different times in their life were memorable. And that's why I named myself Talbot's Throwbacks. Being able to connect people to their home, like two items, and proving people wrong that people still do love this stuff. Because it needs to be showed and not just kind of piled away. If you display to people that it can be loved and it's cool in a home, then it will sell.
Well, maybe my legs don't work. I've been walking funny all day since the bus kicked me in the face with the engine heat. I heard the grand piano shouted, and look out below. I trust the guardrail to take me